program, especially after making the video about the online worship and the things that I did back in the middle of March. But I also at that time had encouraged folks to investigate or use online giving during this time where folks are not able to come together and take up the formal collection, because our giving is a weekly obligation, 1 Corinthians 16, 1 and 2. And so just because we're not meeting doesn't mean we're not still obligated to fulfill our various obligations with regard to worship. And so I want to spend just a little bit of time today showing you how to set up and use the Tithely app, Tithely. And this is the app, the program that we've been using with the Burleson Church of Christ for a couple of years now, and we've got it set up on our website. And I'm going to show you all of that with regard to using it from a website or using the app. And so I want to bring this home page up for a second. Forgot to bring this up. And so I want to walk you through all the different ways that you can use this program. And there's no charge technically to the church for the program. There's a user fee. Well, let me just put it this way. There is a fee to use the app or the online giving, and the giver can choose to cover those fees. The fee, if you give directly from your bank account, is 1% plus 50 cents. And so just, we'll probably just use $100 as our figure for all of our illustrations. So if you were to give $100 to your respective congregation, your bank account would be debited $101.50. Now, or you will be debited $100. The church would have to pay $1.50 out of that $100 contribution. You can choose to cover the fees, and I'll show you all that in just a few moments. And so you can give $100, choose to cover the fees, and then your bank statement will show a debit of $101.50. And so if you choose to give using a credit card, the fees are a little bit higher. I think it's about 3 or 3.5%. And of course, I would never endorse using a credit card to give to the church. And so, not a big endorser of credit cards as a general rule, but if you'll give directly out of your bank account, the charge or the fee is 1% plus 50 cents, and you can choose to cover that. And I'll show you or tell you a little bit about how Rhonda and I do ours. All right. So first, I want to give a shout out and encourage you, if you don't have Tithely on your church, if you have a church website and you would like to put online giving on there, I can put you in touch with Wes Blankenship of WB Web Designs. And Wes works with the Jacksonville Church with House to House, Heart to Heart, and PTP. But he also has a side business in web development, website development, and maintenance. And we've been using Wes for a year and a half now. And he created a web page for us. He keeps it updated. As soon as I send stuff in to update our sermon videos, articles, etc., photographs, that matter gets handled usually within 24 hours, 48 at the most. And so it's a great convenience for us, and he takes care of that for us. But if you don't have a website, I would encourage you to talk to him about getting a website. If you do have a website, he can still set up or help you set up Tithely on your website. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera around, and I'm just going to get this. Try not to give you. All right, so if you were to go to our web page, I'm going to blow that up. And so right here on our website, I don't know how well you can see, right here it says online giving. And if you're set up for online giving, and I'm going to show you how to do that shortly. There's the information. Then you can give online today. So ours is set up, already set up for the Burleson Church of Christ. Then you would come here into this field. Again, we'd use 100 as our. Then you can go to weekly offering, and that's the only choice. Now, it goes default. See here it says card number. It goes card number. Draw this down just a little bit, help you see it a little bit better. If you'll go down to the bottom, down to here. I took it all the way out of the screen. I'm sorry. Down here at the bottom and click bank account. Then here you can take your check, get the routing number for your bank right here, and then your account number, which is on all of your checks. And then you see here the covering fees. I'm just going to try to get rid of that, but it looks like I'm not going to be able to. And cover fees. And then if you want to, if you're like me, and you know, Rhonda and I both, our paychecks don't change, and so we give automated giving the same amount every week. You can set up automated giving, which means it'll come out at the same time every week. Then you can click down here where it says give every week on Sunday. And you see here the 1% plus the fees. I said 101 and 50. It's 101.31. And so then you would go here, and I'm going to go ahead and do this. It should give me a secondary validation to make sure I want to give. So I don't want to. Let's see. Oh, I don't have a valid routing number. Okay, so I didn't put that stuff in. So anyway, once you have your routing number and your account number in, you can click on give, and you'll give. And so this is the online option. So let me go ahead. I'm going to close this out. So if you have it on your website, it's really, really easy to do. I don't give through the website. I give through the app, and I'm going to show you a little bit about that in just a moment. Now, if you were going to set up Tithely without a website and just give without a website, but give through online by going to the Tithely page, it's a lot easier to use the app. You can set up, and I'm actually here. I don't know if you can see this. I'm on step 3 of 4. Now the first page was simply the church name, and I can't go back and walk you through it because I'd have to retype all the information in. It's the church name, the church address, the church website, and then the second page is just basic information about the church, the size of the church, just some basic information that they require. And then you come to step 3 of 4. You see there's the country, the currency, US dollars. Now this is where the church would enter its account number. Somebody at the church treasurer or whoever's in charge of the finances enters the routing number for the bank, and then you're going to have a tax or employer ID number, and all churches have them. And so you have your bank account number, your routing number, your tax ID number, and then once those things are set up, you click next and go to the final step, and then your church will be set up to receive contributions through Tithely or the Tithely app. And so now let me just, at this point, some people say, well, with regard to my giving, you know, the money goes directly from my account into the church account. on your bank page, if you go online, do online banking, it's going to show a contribution to Tithely, because the money goes through Tithely, and it'll show up just like any check would on your statement. Let me come back here. All right, so but I wanted to show you. I turned that too soon. I wanted to show you what you're going to see. And you say, well, what about, who would have access to know how much that I give? And really the only people that would have to know would be you and the Lord. But I think your elders probably deserve to know. I think if they're doing their job properly, they should know. But on the bank account, what happens is that all church Tithely donations go into Tithely at one time, and then, as you can see, they're all dumped at one time. This is an actual screenshot of our bank statement with our deposits with regard to the use of Tithely, and you can see that there are some large numbers that are 930 and 35 cents, 803.75 at the bottom, 833.90. And what this is showing you is that everyone's donation or everyone's contribution, for lack of a better term, is given, or we say dumped, at one time. And so your contribution with regard to the use of Tithely will not show up as an individual contribution in or on the church bank statement. So, but now our elders, we have two elders. Our elders are the ones who count the contribution every week. And like I said before, I think the elders not only have a right to know what every family gives, they have an obligation to know what every family gives, because the Bible says that we are to withdraw from covetous people, 1 Corinthians chapter 5. And the elders have a responsibility to guard the flock, and covetousness is certainly one of the things that we need to be on guard against. And so what we do at Burleson, and I just designed this little thing, and it's just a little old white slip that I print off, and so you see it's got the name, the date, the amount, and a signature. And it's about the size of a check, but I print these in 50, 100 at a time. In fact, here's kind of the template. I cut the sheet off, and but I print these about 50 or 100 at a time. And Rhonda and I keep a small stack in the songbook rack in front of us, and the family that sits behind us, the couple sits behind us, they do the same, and others do the same, and we leave some on the back table. And so what this does is, when the plate is passed, it allows you fill this out, you fold it up like a check, and you put it into the collection plate as it comes by, and that allows our elders to know who's giving electronically or giving online, and the amount. And so when they do their count each Lord's Day, then they just add this as if it was a check, and that way they have an idea of the overall amount that's been given on that particular Sunday. And so that's what we've been doing. And I think there's 7 or 8 of us, 7 or 8 families now at Burleson that are using this. Maybe more now that we're doing the quarantine, or we're in the middle of the quarantine. I know at least 4 families have started using online giving. Now, the beauty for me of the online giving, well, there are a number of advantages. Number one, you set it up automated like Rhonda and I do, and if we go to Missouri to visit family, or Tennessee to visit family, or wherever it is, if we're gone, or if we've never been sick, but if we were, our contribution still goes in to the church account every single Sunday. When I get up in the morning, there's an email confirmation from Tithely that notes the contribution. And so if you go on vacation, you don't have to worry about giving ahead of time. You don't have to worry about making it up. Your giving is consistent. Also, as a preacher, I'll go and I'll preach gospel meetings or have some type of outside appointment where I might receive a stipend or some type of honorarium. And so on those particular Sundays, like on the Sunday after a gospel meeting, I'll get up, I'll get on the app, and I'll show you this in just a few moments. I'll get on the app and I'll do a one-time contribution based on whatever additional income I had received from my gospel meeting or event the week before. And I can do that. And so then on Sunday, what I'll do is I'll either put in 2 white slips, or now I'll just add whatever I give to the amount we normally give and just put in 1 slip, because as you see, it all gets dumped at one time from Tithely into the church account. And so it wouldn't show up as 2 contributions anyway on the church account. And so you can give one time, if you have a job where you don't make the same amount every week, and maybe you have to calculate every week what your giving is going to be, you can do that. You can give every single Sunday morning. You can either do it before you get to church and use a slip. You can do it during the giving portion. I know that some folks do that, but Tithely is a very convenient means of giving, and the automated giving is very convenient, especially for folks that are going to be outside, out of the assembly. Now, let me show you another thing that I love about Tithely, and that is this. Tithely keeps track of all of your online gifts, the amount and the recipient, and the type of giving, weekly offering, and the account number, even the date and the time that the gift was given. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn around and show you, just at the end of the year, Tithely can provide you with a sheet like this that will detail every single offering that you've made. That way if you're writing checks, you don't have to go back through your checkbook and find every single time you wrote a check to the church. And this statement, this list from Tithely is IRS approved. And so I think I may have mentioned this at one time for the year 2018, before I started using Tithely in the first part of the year, as we were doing our taxes, I overlooked several $100s worth of contributions that were made to the church, and most of those were the extra contributions that I had made after gospel meetings and things like that. And so, if you talk about, I think by the time it was all said and done, I had overlooked about $1,100 of contribution, which cost me in taxes about $200. I paid $200 more in federal income tax than I should have. Well, when you have this sheet from Tithely, recording every online gift from January to December, you'll never miss a single one. They'll all be there, and that sheet can be used for tax reporting purposes, and so that is another great advantage to using Tithely. It keeps up with everything for you. Now, I'm going to try to do this, and I don't know how it's going to work. I use my phone as my monitor. I'll tell you what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to go online and see if I can see myself. And so I'm going to use YouTube as my monitor here behind me, and I'm going to try to use the Tithely app and show you how that works. And so the Tithely app I have is right here. Open the app, Of course, I'm already set up. It's very similar to being set up online. You go through, you put in all of your information, your routing number, your bank account number. Then you'll have a PIN, and I've already gone through the whole process of signing up, signing on, and so and I have Face ID because I don't have thumbprint ID on this phone, and so I've gone through the whole sign-in process, and it comes up here. It says Give Now, so I'm going to click Give Now, and this is going to come up, and also the app also goes to a credit card default, but it works the same as I've shown you earlier on our website. You enter the amount here, weekly offering, and then where it says card, you go down here to the bottom again and hit bank account. Of course, my bank account is already set up. I have Rhonda's account and mine set up right here already. And then you have the option to cover the fees. You have the option to set up online or automated giving. Here it is every week. The day on, choose Sunday. And you're set up to go just like, and I see I'm looking at the monitor and the screen's not recording well, but in any event, the app works exactly like the online, and it's very, very convenient. And I would encourage you to use the app as well. So if your church does not have a website, the church can still sign up online to accept contributions, and then those contributions can be made using the Tithely app. And again, the cost is 1%. I think it's 1% plus 50 cents, 1% plus 30 cents. I think that's what it ended up being, 30 cents when I did the example. And so, just so many advantages. A lot of churches have really suffered during this quarantine time. I've talked to folks whose churches, the contributions are half or less. There's still bills to be paid, and there's still preachers to be paid. There's still missionaries to be supported. So many things continue, even if we're not meeting in a formal way. And so this is just another way to be diligent and consistent in your giving. You can always go in and edit it. If you get a raise, you can change your weekly amount, your automated giving. Again, if the Lord blesses you with some type of one-time blessing, financial blessing, then you can do a one-time. But there's just so many good things that come from using Tithely. So if you don't have a church website, I encourage you to get one, and you can call Wes Blankenship over at WB Web Designs. Wes can also take use your current website and set up a little button to click like we've got, and he can set that up for you. I think he said less than $25 to get you set up online if you'll supply him with the information that is required. And then, of course, you don't have to have a website or give through a website. You can simply set it up online, use the app, and go from there. So if you have any questions about it, you can put them in the Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, watch it on the put a question there in the thread. You can send me a text, a private message, any way that you want to try to get a hold of me. I'll answer every question I can, and if there's a question I cannot answer, I'll hand it off to Wes, and Wes will get me an answer in short order. So I appreciate y'all watching this. It went quite a bit longer than I intended, almost 25 minutes, but I wanted to show you everything about how to set up and use Tithely. Tithely has blessed the Burleson Church. Our giving has actually increased since we've been using Tithely. It's not only increased, it's been more consistent. And so I would just encourage every congregation to use this. especially we still have no idea when we're going to be able to meet. I know the country's starting to open back up a little bit, but this would be a great blessing to the church. And if you've not been giving, you can use Tithely to make up what you haven't given. And so many good things to use, or so many good advantages of using Tithely, and I would encourage you to do that. Holler at me, contact me if you have any questions. I'll do my very best to answer as quickly as possible. Appreciate you watching today. Y'all have a great hump day. God bless all of you.